Hi, this lesson is called Shape to Form. Here we're going to create a simple composition using simple shapes, some rectangles, some circles and ovals, and we're going to use the magic of Photoshop to create some transitions of light to create the illusion of depth. So that's when we create and take a two-dimensional form and make it look like a three-dimensional form. Shape to form. First thing we want to do is going to use our tools. We're going to use the rectangular marquee tool and we're going to divide the page about in half. So just kind of take it up to the corner and divide your page about in half. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to pick a color for that. So I'll go over to the color picker. I know that that upper space is going to be my background, so I'm going to use a cool color for that space, and I'm going to take the paint bucket and I'm going to pour it in there, and I have that done. Now I'm going to take and use my selection tool again, and this time I'm going to select the lower half of the space like this, and so now I've done that. Now what I'd like to do is take and pick a color for that. Since I picked a cool color in the background, I'm going to try and give myself something warm. But you can pick something similar for yourself. You want to go with an analogous combination, that's fine. I want to pick something warm, so I'm going to take that and pour that in with the paint bucket. So I've got uh, over here, I've got a medium blue. Over here, I have like a medium orange beige. And now I'm going to take and use and make another selection. I'm going to take this one and make the elliptical marquee tool kind of an oval-like shape. I'm doing it about two-thirds into the page. And I'm going to pick a color that's going to be a little bit darker than the color that I had. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to use the paint bucket. I'm going to pour it right in there. Then I'm going to take the elliptical marquee tool again. And this time I want to make a perfect circle. To do that, you want to hold down the shift key. So I'm going to do that. Oops, hit the wrong button. Here we go. Um, hit the shift key. There we go. And now I have a perfect circle. And I can use that to fill it with a color. I'm going to pick a nice red tone. And I'm going to pour it inside using the paint bucket. And if I do so with the paint bucket, it's going to fill it in three sections because we have here the blue, the beige, and the dark brown. Or I can go over to edit and say fill. And when I say fill, I make sure I select foreground color and it'll fill the entire thing. So now I've got all the colors in place. Now I want to start to add value. Uh, just as a matter of point, I'm going to go to select, deselect, and then you can see it's just a simple shape project where it is right now. As a matter of fact, I'd like to take that and make a copy of it right now. So I'm going to select it and copy it, and I'll just hold on to that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start going into it and making selections and using those and enhancing them with gradients. So I'm going to take the magic wand tool. I'm going to click on, we'll start with the background. And you notice it selects everything in the background. That's because it's only one color. That doesn't work. It doesn't read our minds. It understands the colors that are there. Now I want to put some background color in. I'm going to go to my color picker and I'm going to sample the color blue that I have, and I'll hit OK to that. I'm going to go to the background color, and I'm going to select the same blue, but now I want something darker that could go with it, maybe darker and deeper. So I've selected a color tone. Now I'm going to click on the gradient tool, which is above the under the paint bucket, on the paint bucket's underneath, gradients above, and I'm going to make sure I use the linear one, the one that goes across, and I'm going to go from bottom to top, and that puts the dark value up at the top and the light value. If I do it in reverse, it looks like this. And if I want my gradient to move across perfectly straight, the best way to do that is to hit the shift key as you go across. If I do that by going across in a short distance, I get a short gradient. If I go a long distance, I get a longer gradient. I'm going to go with the longer gradient today. We're going to take the magic wand tool. Now I'm going to hit the bottom half and select that. So you notice I get everything that's just that simple beige color. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use my color picker, sample the original color, hit OK. I'm going to pick something for the second color, and I'll sample the original, go to something a little bit darker. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the gradient the same way, go across the page like that. And so we have this nice transition, light to dark, dark to light. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here with the magic wand tool and select the shadow. Take the shadow and I'm going to select my original color. And then I'm going to select the background color, sample the original, and then go, I guess, a whole lot darker. I'm going to take the gradient tool and I'm going to just go across. And in this situation, I probably would be better off using a radial gradient. So we'll try that. And it comes out. And I think if I reverse these colors, it'll be a little bit better. Let's see. Yep. Excellent. Now I can deselect that. And now I want to take the magic wand and select on the circle up top. And here I'm going to, again, sample my colors. So I will sample my top color and sample for the bottom color. Bottom one I want to make a little bit darker. So I will. Now I'm going to use a radial gradient. And I'm going to just go across the piece. And I get the idea of the illusion of depth. I hit deselect, going up to the top, select, deselect, or type in Command D, and I have completed the composition, a simple shape to form. I hope you enjoyed it.